What does it look like to go from 3-inch baby sister locks to mid-back mature locks over 10 years? 10 years. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I've had my locks for a whole 10 years. What are the stages? Which stages are the most enjoyable and which were the most challenging? I remember when I started on my Sisterlocks journey, I had no idea what was coming. I just saw pictures of women with these beautiful mature locks and I knew that's what I wanted, but I had no idea about what came in between. Now that I'm on the other side with my elder locks, I thought it would be nice to take a little walk down memory lane and to look at my pictures and videos from day one to present. So if you are just starting on this journey, you can get an idea of what's to come. And if you're already on this journey, you can still see what's coming your way. So grab yourself a drink. I have my Timmy's here, if you're Canadian, you know, and let's talk. What's up everyone? If you're new around here, I'm Latoya and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I make weekly videos about locks, travel, and lifestyle design. So if you're into any of those things, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Before I started my Sisterlocks, I found this breakdown online, and through the years, I've been referring back to it. I don't know its original source, but it's been pretty accurate for how my hair has developed. I know there are other breakdowns out there with more stages and phases, but this is the one I've been referring to. So I'm gonna kind of base the video on this breakdown. So let's get this walk down memory lane started. So let me give you a little context on the state of my hair before I got it locked. When I was 12, I begged my parents to relax my hair. It was like a rite of passage for all the little black girls that I knew. We all wanted to relax our hair. They made me wait until I was 13, and on my 13th birthday, I got my hair relaxed. I was the happiest girl in the world, and I basically continued relaxing my hair until I was in my 20s. I had really beautiful hair, but it was very thick, and I was not made to forget that by family and friends. So I was addicted to relaxing my hair until one day I just got fed up with the whole thing. I was sick of running from the rain. I was sick of not being able to jump in a pool like the rest of my friends. And I was tired of chemical burns on my scalp being normal. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not doing this anymore. So I started wearing braids and twists, and this was my vibe. I loved being a natural. Then I had a death in my family, someone really close to me, and I went and shaved my whole head. I went to the barber, literally was like, take it all off, and he did. And I rocked that look for a while, but then a few months later, I went and relaxed my hair. You know that feeling when you go back to an ex and you're all maybe excited and then they say something or they touch you and you want to vomit right away? That was exactly what happened to me when I relaxed my hair. I was excited, got it relaxed. As soon as I got home and I looked in the mirror, I was like, why did you do this to yourself? And soon after that, I started researching locks because I knew I was like done with the relaxer and I loved the lock look. So I was like, time to do this. So I started doing my research. I found Sisterlocks and I was like, this is what I'm doing. I went to a consultant, but because I had relaxed my hair, I had to wait a few months. So in those few months, I did another big chop to get rid of a lot of the permed ends. And I saved up my $800 and I went in on install day. So in February of 2014, I sat in my loctician's chair for 24 hours and got my Sisterlocks installed one shot. I got small and medium locks and I was truly overjoyed. That was the beginning of a transformational experience for me. Obviously, my hair was very different from what I was used to, but more than that, it was like a mental and spiritual shift for me as well. I'll talk more about that later on, but let's talk about what this stage is actually like. For a lot of people, your hair will look like little tight spirals because your hair is not locked yet. It's in that pre-lock stage. For some people, your hair can look very scalpy, so like your scalp is exposed. This was my first twist out, which was probably the best one I ever had that first year. I don't think my hair looked like spirals at all, and my scalp was definitely hiding in this stage. My hair looked more like an undefined poof with stringy ends because the ends were still relaxed and super straight. I was cutting those ends off gradually every time I retightened my hair. My hair was very frizzy and tight to my head. I called it hat hair at some points. I traveled a lot during this stage to Central and South America, and kids would laugh at my hair in my face. I did twist outs to try to give it some shape and definition, but that didn't always work. I had to be so careful with how I handled my locks so that I didn't unravel them. I banded my hair to wash it for at least 6 or 7 months. This is the most challenging stage with locks. There's no denying that. I didn't feel very feminine a lot of the time because of the way my hair was looking. It was just so different from what I was used to. I was also doing a lot of work on myself. When I say this was a transformational time for me, I mean that I really wanted to work on myself and the way that I was connected with the hair that grew out of my head in the way that it grew out of my head, if that makes sense. I had to work on those beauty standards that had like slowly seeped into my mind because I was pretty pro-black, I would say, but still, I had the feeling that if my hair wasn't shiny or if it wasn't sort of like touching my shoulder, then it wasn't feminine. So I had to do a lot of work on myself during this first year with my locks. I had a lot of hard conversations with myself and long looks in the mirror as I tried to like talk myself through these feelings that I was having about my hair. And I loved this phase for that. I really feel like I learned so much about who I was, and so many of the beauty standards that I hold and value today, I feel like I worked out in that first year. I'm a super natural person. I don't use a lot of products. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I just love to use natural oils. And I think so much of that developed during that first year with my locks as I kind of worked on myself. And I feel like that was just so important in this first stage. So yes, this phase is the most challenging, but what isn't hard in life that's worth having, honestly? For me, this stage lasted about 12 months. I transitioned from baby locks to teen locks when I started seeing the buds develop on the ends of my hair. This was a celebration, let me tell you, because I thought because I have thick 4C hair, my hair would lock within 6 months, but I was dead wrong. It took a full 12 months for my hair to lock. During this budding phase, small buds start to develop, usually towards the end of each lock. And this just means that your hair is actually interlocking and matting. And it's an indication that all of the work that you're doing is working, it's paying off. In the teen stage, the locks don't look tight and thin, but are expanding. Typically, people say that the hair is rebellious during this phase. It does its own thing, but I didn't experience that. Or maybe I just like the rebellion. Once I passed the 1 year mark, I colored them and really fell in love with them for the first time. They had a cute shape about them. They were low maintenance. I could do some more styles with them since they weren't so delicate anymore. I could have happily stayed in that stage forever. Honestly, I loved it. The teen phase lasted about 1.5 years for me. I knew I entered the adult or shooting phase when my hair stopped growing out and started growing downward, if that makes sense. It kind of like dropped. All of my locks were beginning to firmly interlock and mat at this point. The direction is downward from the bud to the end of the hair and then back upward towards the scalp. It was here where I put my hair on autopilot basically. It didn't need much from me and I gave it what it required, water, moisture, and I just left it alone. My hair grew a lot in this stage, so it was passing my shoulders, so it was easy to just spray it in the morning, and leave it alone, which is what I did for most of this time. During this phase, I had my daughter. I had a pretty rough pregnancy and I didn't retighten my hair for about 6 months because I was in and out of the hospital. But I didn't worry one bit about my locks because I knew they were solid. I really appreciated my locks during this phase in my life. My adult phase lasted about 3 years. This is my current stage and the final stage, and it's kind of like I made it. Although now that I've seen the full journey, there were so many moments where I actually loved my hair. So although I thought this was gonna be like it for me, this is what the whole thing was about, now that I look back, there are moments where I was like, oh, I loved how my hair framed my face even when it was shorter. According to my little diagram, at the elder stage, the locks are an airtight interlock spiraling network system. I like that description. My locks are consistent and solid. I've cut my hair 4 or 5 times and the locks are not affected by that at all. They remain solidly interlocked. At this stage, the locks will be long and I find they grow so fast. I had to switch from retightening my hair every 8 weeks to every 6 weeks at the beginning of my elder stage, which I think was around year 7 because of the fast growth. The length is fun and there is so much that I can do with my hair. The one thing that I didn't think about is when your hair is longer, I find that now I just want to wash my hair so much more often. And it's harder to wash my hair, obviously, because there's more of it. But with longer hair, my hair is constantly like touching seeds and touching different things. So that's been my journey over the last 10 years. It was really fun to really look at how far I've come. It's truly amazing. Getting my locks and going through all the phases was such an important journey for me to go on as a Black woman. There are so many messages about our hair and about our beauty. And I know that first year in particular, some people call it like the ugly phase or whatever, but I think it's just a chance to really reconnect with yourself and not have as much control as you usually do because you can't use all these products. It's just you sitting with the hair as it grows out of your head. It's a beautiful thing. I really do think so. Maybe I'm being too philosophical, but I learned so much during that first year. So if you're about to go on your lock journey, just go in open-minded. You will look back and value every single phase for all the different lessons it teaches you. So that's my 2 cents on that. I would love to know your thoughts on my journey. Did you have a similar experience or was yours completely different? And if you're just getting started with your locks, do you have any questions? Leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.